Hey everybody. I hope you guys had a good weekend. Um, one thing that I do to uh, stay up to date with important information is I sign up for Google alerts, things like keywords like Seth Rich or um, Democratic Party or Julian Assange. And a few days ago, I saw this article from Mercury called the Mercury. Um, I've never heard of it before, but I think it's important that when we see something that's not factual, that we do our best to call it out. And I know that there's so much fake news and false information. So I just kind of want to go over this fake news uh, article and kind of point out some things that I think are establishment propaganda and false narratives. So there's this article called Julian Assange stressed as supporters gather outside Ecuadorian embassy to defend free speech. That's pretty good so far, but that's just the title. It's written by someone named Chloe Lyons from News Corps Australia Network. I've never heard of her before. I don't have anything personally against her. I just feel like these people that push this establishment narrative, they do that, without question. So I think it's important that we call it out. So I'm going to go through this and point out some things that I think are important. It says Australian Julian Assange has remained holed up in the Ecuadorian embassy last night, despite claims by his organization WikiLeaks that he could be expelled within hours. Okay. So WikiLeaks did claim that they had some information from insiders that he could be expelled within days to hours. I think personally that Moreno has backed off, at least temporarily, because of the massive support he's had from his followers, myself included. So I'm happy, and I hope that, in some small way, we actually did help Assange. I wish that we could do more. I know that the Unity for Jade movement and the Free Assange movement, they're calling for activists to show up outside the embassy and to stand with us, to stand with Julian and WikiLeaks. Okay, so it says dozens of journalists have been staking out the embassy, which is true. WikiLeaks tweeted that a high official within the Ecuador has warned Assange that he could be expelled hours to days. That is true. It says there's some weird stuff about this article. Like, first of all, they're strangely obsessed with where within the building that Assange actually stays. So in this, it shows, let me scroll down a bit, shows this is strange. Julian Assange's self-imposed incarceration. Okay, with that title, let's be clear. It's not self-imposed incarceration. Okay, it's not his fault that he's there. He is there because he was granted diplomatic asylum. That is not self-imposed incarceration. They're trying to blame Assange for his own situation right now. Okay. Let me scroll back up to the top though. Whenever these articles say that Assange is holed up, they're trying to push a narrative that he's doing it to himself or that he's like some criminal on the run. Assange is a publisher. The reason he had to seek asylum, diplomatic asylum, was because he published information that was given to him. He did not steal it. He did not leak it. He was the one, he was given information, WikiLeaks was given information, and thankfully, we should be praising him thankfully for his sacrifice. He's been in this embassy for 7 years now. He's been without internet for a very long time now. He's in almost complete isolation. He needs medical care. He needs sunlight. He needs to, we need to stand up for him. And so part of standing up for him means calling out, these false articles that push a narrative that Assange is some type of criminal. Assange is a hero. There's no way around that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's a lot of fake narratives out there. I've talked about some in the past about, they say he's dirty or they say he's not cleaning, or saying he's a Russian bot, he's a Russian operative. And, it's not true. There's, anytime that anybody pushes that kind of narrative, you have to say, prove it. Prove it. They can't prove it. All facts say that, he's legitimate. His organization, he's no longer in control of WikiLeaks. So Moreno going after Assange for whatever WikiLeaks publishes, that's not fair. It's not fair. So Moreno definitely has, he definitely has shown himself to be a coward and a traitor, but he's also showing himself to be very revengeful against, being exposed. And that's similar to the government we have right now. They're very vengeful. They're very corrupt. And if you call them out, they're going to do everything they can to silence you, to abuse you, and to take your liberties away. So whenever I see the word hold up, I think, okay, they're immediately trying to push a narrative that Assange is behind. He's not. I see right here, it says he's been hiding in the embassy since 2012, where he jumped court bail in London after seeking to avoid extradition to Sweden on sexual assault charges. Okay, so this was published on April 5th. So they're still pushing a narrative about sexual assault charges. So they're just trying to basically slander him, knowing very well that the sexual assault charges were, what's the word I'm looking for? The case was dropped on lack of evidence. The sexual assault from Sweden was just rumors. It was just allegations that had no factual evidence behind it. They've said this time and time again. So we have to really give value to the facts. A lot of people don't care about facts. If you want to know more about Assange, let me type in a really good website to go to. justiceforassange.com. Okay, now this is where I get a lot of my information about Assange. And I mean, they'll tell you it's a fact check sheet here. I mean, they even talk, it says, how did the Swedish matter end? It tells you all about it, tells you, everything they've gone through in detail. Let me go back to this article. So go to justiceforassange.com if you want to learn more, or unityforj.com. Okay. Where am I? Okay. So, they're pushing a narrative that he's been hiding out. He's essentially being tortured. He received diplomatic asylum from the person before Moreno. Can't remember his name right now. So he leaks documents when he worked at WikiLeaks, exposing all this corruption. And right now they're getting revenge, basically. They're not going to let him get away with exposing the corruption. So I've been watching the live streams the last few days, and I'm really proud of the people that have been standing out there and chanting and singing and showing support, taking live streams and taking pictures and showing the world that we're not going to, give in. We're not going to let them get away with this. Okay. So it says, while Ecuador granted him asylum, he has since fallen out with new President Lenin Moreno's administration and claims he was about to be expelled. Have circulated for months. Okay, so for months we've felt pressure from the administration against Assange, and you can tell that the U.S. is putting a lot of pressure on Moreno, however means necessary, whether it's like, interfering with their trade and interfering with Moreno's administration. Essentially, I think they're invested in Moreno, and so Moreno's kind of bending over backwards to do whatever he can to get Assange out. So that's why, we're not really trusting him too much right now. Especially when Moreno is blaming Assange personally for the INA papers that kind of show corruption involving Moreno. So Moreno's, got a serious vendetta against Assange, even though, I like to mention, that Assange has not had internet for quite a while now. I want to say it's been more than several months. I want to say it's at least been a year or close to a year where he hasn't had internet. So he's being blamed. He doesn't have control over WikiLeaks right now. He has no access to the internet. He has limited access to humans, to his allies, so it's there's cause to be skeptical. There's cause to be worried right now about Assange's health and his safety and his future, because not only that, but our future, because what they do to him, they will come after the people after him. People that are trying to publish information. It's going to get, the censorship's going to get tighter and tighter, and we just need to be paying attention right now, especially to the Unity for J movement. We need to see, learn from their mistakes, learn from their the positive things that come out of that movement, because we need to be in the street right now. So that's essentially where we need to be moving as a country. We need to be getting people in the street, getting people educated about what is actually happening. And it's doing videos like this, researching what you can and documenting it and helping other people understand what's going on. So Australia had previously granted Assange a passport, but the UK is putting pressure and saying, if he comes out, he will be arrested, and who knows, he'll probably be extradited to the US. And, I'm seeing a lot of fake narratives where people say, oh, well, take him to the US, take Assange to the US, have his day in court. But the reality of that is that in America right now, especially with what Assange has done for the American people, the positive things he's done for us, there's no way he's going to get an honest trial. In previous whistleblowing cases, that what I've researched is, basically they'll have secret courts. He won't have like a public jury of actual peers. He's going to have secret officials that make secret decisions. He's not going to have a fair trial, and who knows what they're going to do to him. It's not for his safety to take him to the U.S. right now and give him over to the people that he exposed. To the people that are saying that's a good thing, I say shame on you. Shame on you, whether you're not thinking it, through carefully, or whether you're just trying to manipulate other people into trying to push for something that's going to hurt Assange. We got to be wise about this. We got to listen to what his representatives are saying, what the Unity for J is saying, what all of his closest allies are saying. These protesters that are outside, they know what they're talking about. So I don't have anything personally against this person that wrote this article from Australian News Corps. I just feel like They're just more of the status quo. They're not doing anything to challenge them. They're not advocating for free speech. And it's like, all these authors and these writers, reporters, why are these people actively trying to work against free speech? It's like, why are you in this business? You need to be in something like Hollywood. If you want to be a paid liar, go do something, that doesn't physically harm truth tellers. So he still very well could be evicted. We just don't know what they're willing to do. I think right now, from what I can understand, the best thing that we can do to help Assange, is they're focusing on the digital army, creating information, creating memes, creating videos, whatever you can do to advocate for free press and advocate for Assange's safety, Chelsea Manning's safety. She's still in jail right now. They have her in, I guess, contempt, where she won't testify against WikiLeaks, and she's in jail for it. Second time now she's in jail. Okay, so they mentioned Swedish accusations. They failed. They failed to push the truth on that. The slander has failed. Calling him dirty is, and that's so stupid. If you live in such a small space, I know, we all know without a shadow of a doubt that he's keeping the area clean. Because when you're in, basically, I used to one-bedroom apartment, and it was extremely small. And even if there were just a few dishes, or a full trash can, like, the room would feel crowded. So I feel like it's more likely that he's actually being super clean in there, and there's no evidence to prove otherwise. So for anybody, let alone Moreno, to claim that he's not fulfilling his duties within the embassy, that's bullshit. It's a cop out, and he's trying to take revenge. I mean, this is clear. This is not, anything to be debated at this point. It's a fact. So, advocate for truth, research it. And, if somebody's saying something that's not factually true, you don't have to lose your shit with them. Just basically say, I'm sorry, but what you're saying right now is not backed in factual evidence. And then, just say, prove it. Prove it. And we're going to have to do that until these false narratives are squashed, because there is no validity to it. And all we have to do is stand up and challenge it. Another weird thing I wanted to show you guys. This is really strange. I've never seen any report go so far out of their way to document what the inside of his floor looks like. I don't even know if it's accurate, but I think it's just very strange. Like, they have like descriptions of the room. Okay, it even points out like computer, hard drives, oxygen tanks, single mattress, books, and such. I don't understand why they're trying to be like, oh, look, he has a computer. Okay, he may have a computer, but he doesn't have internet. He doesn't have internet. He's not publishing anything. They've, officially, truly silenced him, as much as they possibly can. So I don't understand why they're trying to make him look like he's some, like, mastermind criminal that's hiding out in his little hidey hole. He fears for his life, and we all fear for his safety, even within the embassy. We don't know what's going to happen next. I just recommend everybody to talk about him, talk about WikiLeaks, retweet things, make sure that you're sharing factual information, and you follow the Unity for J movement. Especially, they have a Discord channel. You can find them on Twitter at Unity4J, the number 4. No, but I'm happy to do as many videos as it takes, battling these false narratives and laying out the facts. I'm going to keep up with this story. You can keep checking out my page every few days. I'll have new content on there. I just started my Patreon channel, so this content will go on there as well. If you like this, please subscribe. Please subscribe to my Patreon as well. I want to keep doing these videos and protesting and, participating in direct action. We have 2 protests coming up on April 29th and April 30th in Boston. You can message me if you want that information. I'll put the links below as well. I hope you guys, I hope this enlightened you if you weren't already aware about Assange. Please keep up with the information, and I think that about covers it for today. I will be back later tonight, maybe doing another video with Deb Della Piana. We're going to discuss in detail more about the DNC fraud protest and the obstructive vote. All right. Okay. I hope this, battle this false narrative, even if it's just one little article. I think we all should be doing this repeatedly on a daily basis and calling out these they're jokers. They're manipulators. They're frauds. People that pretend to be truth tellers, and they're just pushing the establishment. That's all they care about. It's all about knowing the key words, pushed by the establishment, and it gets easier to recognize it. Okay, I will see you guys later. Have a good one.